Yeah, so I'm Victor, the co-founder and CEO of Sense of Space. And in Sense of Space, we work with a 3D streaming, which means we are able to stream large 3D models, high quality 3D models in a cross-platform way. So without having to download or anything, anyone can show a large 3D model on a website or on a mobile phone or on a VR headset, regardless of the device limitation. So we take away all the need for 3D optimization, like turning a large model into a small model and losing all the details in the process. With our system, this optimization is done automatically, and you also don't lose any of the details. And that model can be then streamed from the cloud. Yeah, so to compare a little bit, so what we work with is mainly, our system is mainly used for complex and large models, like high quality models, more like, for example, around 500,000, more than 1,000,000 polygons in the model. So these models usually, they cannot even be uploaded in these platforms like Mozilla Hubs, or if you try to run multi-million Polygon on an Oculus headset for VR, for example, it would just shut down the device because it cannot take that much. It's the same with the mobile phone or also on the web. So either you do, you try to just load the model, without any optimization, and that will be like really, it's gonna lag the experience. It's gonna be freezing if it opens, in the first place, because the data is just too heavy for a simple web page or a mobile phone. So what we do, we don't throw the data at once to the computer. We stream little by little, and only what the user is seeing. So instead of streaming the whole gigantic model that you are probably only looking at one part of it, we only stream that part you are looking at. So that way the experience can be much lighter and much faster and way more, like fluent, instead of like showing a really big model every time all at once, and then getting your computer to freeze or to make like loud noises and feeling like the computer is going to explode. So it's in relation to your avatar and the other people's avatars as well. So yes, what you are seeing is what we are streaming. So things that are on your back, they are not being streamed unless you look back, and then they will be. But it's like super fast, and you don't really realize that there's nothing there. And then depending on the other person, it will be the other person point of view that will be rendered. So that's how we can balance and make it possible to show this large data in low-end devices. The faster the internet, the better, but not necessarily. So our system is adaptive to the bandwidth, which means if you enter on a slow speed connection, we will tweak the data, in real time according to your connection. And if your connection improves, or if you join in a super fast 5G, then the system will adapt to that as well and show even more data, even more high quality data. So it's adaptive to the connection speed as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the way we see, well, you can use way larger models than you are used to. So there's no need to do like everything extremely low poly. You are able to actually, do a large model that runs nicely on the PC, but it usually doesn't run on Mozilla Hubs or any of these platforms. But in our case, everything is being streamed. So you can use as big as you can the models. The limit is actually right now is 100 million polygons, which is a lot of polygons. So you can do, our goal is for the artists is to not have these limits, these like extreme limits that you cannot do anything. And you spend like years learning how to do amazing models, and you cannot do that because the system doesn't take it. So now you can do the models that you want, full of little details, and they will be preserved. Yeah, so we have like two types. One are the development plugins. So if you have your own platform that is built on top of Unity or Play Canvas or Unreal Engine, so we have plugins to all the main development tools. And then we have also some plugins to platforms that do have our SDK, like Mozilla Hubs, Zapier for augmented reality. And now we are talking to like some of these platforms like Decentraland or Spatial to implement our SDK to be able to run these models. But right now, we are focusing on the development tools. So Unity, Unreal, Play Canvas, 3JS, Mozilla Hubs, all these main ones we support. So for example, you can come to our website, senseofspace.io, and in here you can create an account in this button here that calls Try Now. So if you click here, you can sign up for the early access. And once you sign up, you can log in to our platform, and this is our platform. So in here, you have this menu that calls conversions. So you click this one, and in here you can choose your file. So if it is an environment or an object or anything that you want to stream, it needs to be GLB, FBX, or OBJ files. So you choose your file. If it is a 3D scan, a photogrammetry file, you click this flag. If it's handmade, you don't need to click it. And then you give it a name. You give it the name of the creator and the URL of the asset. And then you click Convert to Streamable Asset. So that's all you have to do. And when you click Convert, the file will be sent to our system, and then our system will do the optimization and the conversion to what we call a streamable asset. And you will get your assets here in this list like this. And then in here, you can already click to see the model. So for example, click on this one. And this will open this web viewer, so you can preview the model. You can already share with anyone this link, so they can also check the model. So then in here, for example, I have a 3D scan of this skate park that is done by David Fletcher. And so this is now converted into what we call a streamable model. And this can be shared with anyone. It's just sharing the link. And this link also opens on mobile or anywhere. And then if you have your own Mozilla Hubs, you can go to your Mozilla Hubs and to your scene editor. So the spoke editor, this is going the way. So for example, I have now actually, let's go back. If you have your own Mozilla Hubs, you can come here to plugins and apps. And in here we have Mozilla Hubs. So first of all, you need to download our plugin. So you download our plugin, and you also have the implementation guide. So you click this implementation guide, and in here is gonna explain step by step how to install our plugin inside your Mozilla Hubs. And once you have our plugin running inside Mozilla Hubs, you can come to your scene editor and create a new project. So let's create a new empty project. So now we have the Mozilla Hubs window. And if you have our plugin installed here in the elements, where you have all the elements you can use, you will have one that calls Sense of Space Streamable Model. So after you install our plugin to your own Mozilla Hubs, you will have this new element here that doesn't exist natively. And everything, all you need to do is basically click and drag the element to the scene, and always going to ask you is a stream URL. So what this means is asking you what is the address of your model that you converted. So you can come back to your list, and then you can come here. I have this barbecue grill that is like a 3D scan, is a nice one. So everything you need to do is copy this address here, and then you come to your scene, and then this is the model on the web viewer, which is also like a 3D scan. You can come here, copy this address, come to Mozilla Hubs, paste this address. One thing you have to do that is written on the guide, you have to add model.sxrweb. So Mozilla Hubs know exactly what to get. And then after you do that, you already have your model streaming there. So that's everything you need to do. It's extremely simple. You will have your model already running inside your scene. So where's my small point? Over here. You can also make transformations. So I think now the model, so this is the character. The model seems to be too big. So you can click the model and scale down, for example, let's say 1.8. I think now is good. And that's all you have to do. So now your model is already here streaming inside Mozilla Hubs from this stream URL. So now if you go and publish your scene, give it a name, outdoor barbecue, you save the project, save and publish. So it's going to export the scene. One nice thing to check here now is, since it's streaming, the model, it's not taking storage on your Mozilla Hubs or your server. So for example, this model here is almost 500,000 polygons. But when we export from Mozilla Hubs, the poly count of Mozilla Hubs is actually not even 5,000, because the model is not living there. So, you know, like you are just showing 500,000 polygons, but Mozilla Hubs doesn't even know you are showing that many, because it's streaming, is not living there locally. So now you publish the scene, and now we can go and check. You can create a room already, and there you go. We are now in the room and we can join. The model is not gonna appear right away, but now appears when it starts streaming. So I can join the room. And there we go. We have our model streaming inside Mozilla Hubs. And with levels of detail. So for example, where I'm looking at is going to start to improve. So here, for example, it's pretty low poly, but over time, as you can see already, the mesh will start to improve and get better and better, according to where you are looking at. And then you can click invite and, invite everyone to join the room. So that's basically how it works. Yeah, that's a tough one. I think it's really difficult to predict these kind of things. But what I see right now that I think is going to keep going is, for example, remote meetings that you don't really have a need to catch a plane to go and do. You can do, and you don't want to do a Zoom call like all the time. So these kind of like 3D environments that are more fun, like more nicer to go. And then if you want to look something that is 3D, for example, if you are a car designer, like a Zoom call, you can show renders and drawings, but it's not the same as actually seeing the depth and the 3D of the element. So for those cases, this kind of 3D environments are the best right now. And also like social metaverses, if you want to meet friends or just hang around, it's also very nice. For example, I don't know, the younger generations already do this in games all the time, like meeting their friends inside the games. And then when you want to go to talk to someone on a professional level, then you are on a Zoom call, which is, everybody knows it's not the nicest. Like we are all these squares, and also for the conference, for the event, is much nicer if it is a 3D environment that you can walk to somewhere and meet people by chance as well, which is something that is just impossible to happen in a 2D screen Zoom style of a situation. So some events I have been that are like 3D metaverse types. It does happen that you bump into people that, you know, you are not going to schedule a Zoom call, but you bump into them. And that makes the whole difference. That's the whole point of conferences anyway, even physical ones, is to bump into people that you know, you don't particularly have a meeting with. And that's beauty of it. So in these 3D spaces, that helps, or I think it helps, and it's something that I enjoy. And in 10 years from now, I don't know. I think VR and AR could have a strong, be something strong in 10 years. Right now, I think it's still very niche and difficult to use and to go. You know, it's still very bulky. But in 10 years, maybe it's gonna be just like a sunglass that you put and you are there. And if we get to that point, then things starts to get like more exciting as well.